Welcome to another Warcraft 3 audio commentary. Tonight, guys, we're going to be watching another WC game. I looked around for some other ones. I decided I wanted to do this WC game series. I don't know if they're going to be good, but I love watching Fly, and I love watching Infi, and I don't know when the last time an Infi versus Fly series was played, or when there will be another Infi versus Fly series played, so I'm excited, and I want to watch it, so we're going to see it. Hopefully you haven't already seen it. If you have, sorry. But anyway, let's introduce the players. On the right side of the map, which is obviously Echo Isles, we have the teal human, Infi, spawning. Wonderful guy. On the left side of the map, we have the purple orc, the one and the only one, the one of the micro. His name is Fly. That's right. His micro is Fly. That's how we're going to go. That's where we're going with that one. Altar Storm's pretty early basic build. I bet it's a Blade Master. It's a Blade Master. That wasn't much of a bet because I was too slow to get the Blade Master out before Fly got the Blade Master out, but that's okay. That's fine. Nothing. I mean, it was still a pretty solid prediction. It's pretty standard. The Archmage naturally also pretty. I like these farms. I don't know why I like them. I'm not sure. There's not really much you can do with that little space there, but I almost feel like the barracks might have been one space to the right, just a little bit more than it was supposed to, and because normally you put these guys side by side, the two farms side by side touching. This may well be intentional though. I don't know, but either way, this looks cool, so I do like it. I'm gonna see a footman scout going across the map as the Archmage pops out. He's probably gonna do a little bit of militia creeping on this green camp, I would assume, but he could no, he doesn't care. He's gonna go straight. He's gonna go down to the gold mine. Where is he going? It could be the gold mine. Is he gonna take a fast expansion? He is going for a very fast expansion. And with this footman over here, he's got to keep the footman away. You have to be really careful because if you run a unit that's not in combat over here, it will get ensnared by those creeps. So you have to be careful. That's also why you end up having, what's it called, happen. That's why pros will run their grunt up to the creep and kind of engage at the same time as the Blade Master. That way they don't get ensnared with their grunts. Sorry, I don't know what my brain just decided to do there, but it decided not to cooperate. Anyway, so down here, you can go ahead and see he's going for that expansion. The Blade Master, however, also on his way. He's got Double Claw, actually really nice to have. That's plus 12 attack. That is a fantastic amount of damage. He's going to come in. He's probably going to pick off a footman, I would assume. No, he's going straight for the Archmage. Man, I am making the wrong calls here. A good call, though, because if you get that Archmage out of there, that's a lot of damage that it can't do, and he's just going to go ahead and cancel the Town Hall because he can. Why not? He doesn't have any kind of healing or regeneration here, so he's got to make the most of his time. Isn't going to get any kills, it looks like. Fair enough, no kills, but he can do a little bit of delaying. In fact, as he sits the Blade Master in the right spot, he can actually even prevent that Town Hall from going back down just while it's on Windwalk. He's really going for that Archmage. He might actually be able to net the kill. He's almost up to another Windwalk. That is going to be scary, because if he wants it, he can kill it. One Windwalk would do it. But he has to be careful because he needs to do, I don't know. He just now has the mana. Looks like he's going to pick up Boots of Speed and come back in for that kill. And in fact, he's being very aggressive with the grunt just to make sure you can keep tabs on where that Archmage is. Already in Windwalk, and he's going to one-shot it. No! It lived with 3 life? 3 life? What? Oh, wow. Doesn't really matter, though. He summoned the Water Elemental. He knew there was no running away from it because it had boots. But he's just going to do his best to prevent this Town Hall from being canceled again and just give the sacrifice of the Archmage up to the Blade Master. It's sometimes something you have to do when it has 2 claws. The Blade Master, though, also going to go down to the Arcane Tower, which makes this opening significantly less good for Fly. If he had just backed off after the Archmage kill, you know, went back to his base, I don't know if he has the Voodoo Lounge. He could have crept up a bit, healed up a bit. But, you know, I don't know. He is tier 2, which means that he could be getting out I don't know, probably a Shadow Hunter right now. Instead, he's getting the Blade Master. So I don't know. But he's keeping these grunts down here. He really wants to do this harass. I mean, at this point, the harass is basically over. I'm not really sure what he's doing here. If he loses that grunt, oh, don't lose the grunt fly. Oh, he got surrounded on the grunt. The grunt's gonna go down. He's trying to focus on these peasants as they walk by, particularly this red HP one. Not gonna happen. The grunt's gonna go down and give level 2 to the Archmage, and Infi just absolutely making up for that early Archmage loss. And in fact, that harass didn't do as much as he probably wanted it to. On this map, you only really get one expansion attempt as the human player because there's not really anywhere else to go. The only other gold mine is going to be down over here, which is solidly on your opponent's side of the map, so you probably won't be seeing you won't have an easy time grabbing that one. You pretty much have to grab this one, and if it's not the easiest thing to defend. Look, I mean, there's no choke points. We've talked several times about how important choke points are for the human player. This is the only one you really have, and that's only going to help if the orc comes up from here, which they would never generally do, unless you can build a really nice choke point with buildings on this side, in which case they might want to come up from this way, kind of as a sneak attack or something. But for the most part, that's not going to happen. Blade Master out of here. He is ready now to start going for the footman. I'm surprised he didn't do that earlier, but he is now ready to do it. Bringing in a grunt as well, going for the mercenary right here. Could get the block with the grunt, but not quite capable. A little unfortunate there, very close, but it's still going to go down. Just going to force a wind walk out of him, which is unfortunate because that is pretty much going to force him to back off now. And he's got a healing salve for the Blade Master. He can also pop one on that grunt. Going to go ahead and do that. Has to make sure not to get any hits from this water elemental, which shouldn't be an issue because he is moving faster. He just needs to not walk around or turn around rather. Unfortunately, he's very low on mana at this point, which is never good. Gonna see a footman getting hexed here. It's gonna get picked off. Most likely just gonna walk in and smack a racket a few times. It's gonna see the peon running down, which means that Infi is gonna know for sure what he suspected because he sent that footman over this way just to see is it gonna be an expansion, and it is. And the counter expansion lets Infi know he doesn't have to play he can play a little more defensively because it costs quite a bit of resources actually to put this expansion up. And if you're the human player, you know that, then you say, okay, well, I can safely tech. I don't have to buy as many mercenaries, and that way, we know his push is going to be later. You know, he might do some harass, but it's going to be a later push. And it also, he can kind of abuse that knowledge by trying to do some kind of cancel stuff. Kind of, you know, make it so that it's not a free expansion to build as the orc, and make him have to stay on the side even longer, which means he can play even greedier on his tech. And this Great Hall is a lot easier to cancel, I would say, than the Archmage, or rather than the human one's Town Hall, because there's no multiple peasants. You can't build it faster. You know, it's building at a set rate, and that's it. We're gonna see the Archmage being forced to TP. That's not really anything big. He probably would have been quite happy if the water elemental hadn't been quite so close. I would have bought him a little more time. It would have given a little bit of XP, but there was no way that guy was getting away from the range of the teleport anytime soon, and that Archmage definitely didn't have any more time. If he waited any longer to go for that TP, he would have been hexed again and killed. So good choice by that. Throwing away footman, I don't know if this is intentional. I think he really was hoping those guys wouldn't get Saw as they came over here to try to do some more canceling on that. The water elemental also trying to get back over there in time, but since he knows the orc is right here, not going to really bother with that. The Blade Master kind of running down here. I don't know what he's doing. He's going the sneaky way. I guess he was kind of looking for maybe an Archmage coming this way, which would have been a good call. But that's not what we're going to see. We're going to see Infi just saying, I'm going to get some creeps. There could be a nice little tome there. I don't know what it was because, I mean, it got picked up very quickly. Can just maybe see it? No? I don't know if that's like a... I think that's the tome. I don't know. It's too small. It's too small. I can't tell. Yeah, but you'll note there's always a little tiny tome left over after you pick a tome up because it doesn't actually disappear the tome. It makes it tiny, tiny, tiny. And my window's tiny, so I can't see. You might be able to tell if you're watching. I don't know. I have no idea. Troll Witch Doctor, we're seeing a lot of these being used nowadays because the sentry wards are naturally just so ridiculously good, especially on these big open maps. Once again, let's look at Fly's vision, and this is from what Fly can see. He can see inside of the human base. He says, okay, Arcane Sanctum, double built. He's like, okay, that could be a tower push on my expansion maybe. He's got this, he's trying to get the ward down over here. Is he going to be able to manage it? I don't think he has enough mana for it. I don't know how much mana it is, but I want to say it's probably 50. I got a good amount of vision from that Blade Master. He's got his army up here. So yeah, that actually didn't get throw down nearly as many sentry wards as I would expect. He did get this one right here, which is useful for any kind of, what's it called, flying or invisible archmage stuff. I don't know. My brain is not working tonight. But that's okay. That's okay. It's not a problem. So the Mountain King comes out as the second hero for Infi. If we look back up here at the top, we're going to see it looks like a blacksmith has gone down. 3 Arcane Sanctums, seeing slow, magic sentry, and adept training. So maybe we're going to see some kind of invisible stuff. Well, you always see invisible stuff. It's, what's it called? It's a defensive micro maneuver, and it forces dispels from the Spirit Walkers, which is something that orcs generally don't want to do, especially if the unit's in a very aggressive position, because it's going to dispel Spirit Link as well. So it's actually just a fantastic thing to have. The Blade Master can be able to take down one of those peasants. The other guy almost dying if you'd gotten, you know, a nice critical strike, but nope, not for you, Nekoro, not today. Down here, we're going to see Infi just doing some more creeping. Level 3 on the Archmage, very close to level 4 at this point. 47 mana from it, or XP from it, rather. And the Mountain King about halfway through level 1. So he wants to hit level 2. He wants to hit level 3, really. Are we going to see a Castle Tech anytime soon? Definitely not. Also, we're going to see Infi going back. He was at 52 supply, going to go back to 50. He probably wants to bank up just a little bit more. Nope. He just wanted to make sure that when he broke, it was relatively quickly about the same time of those researches. He's doing something. I don't know what he's doing. He just wanted to cancel it. It's not a big deal. Both players are creeping at this point. The Shadowhunter, however, the Orc is in a severe experience advantage right now. Almost level 4 on that Shadowhunter, clearly level 3 on the Blade Master. Trying to steal some more experience, wants to keep these human hero levels low. The one thing you have to keep in mind about Orc versus Human is that the hero's experience it's not like Undead versus Human where XP is everything. In Orc versus Human, the Human can be behind in experience because they're probably going to take some really nice fights when they first push. If they can get a good position, you know, a good choke, and they really usually do have the leisure to choose where they fight and when they fight, unless the Orc intercepts them as they're moving towards that position, which is not easy to do. You will occasionally see Orcs do it, but it's not easy. Then the Human can really make up a lot of experience in a good fight. However, that only really is because they have a huge economic advantage because they get their expansion up first. So that's sort of the matchup in a nutshell, I would say. So obviously, the more experience the Orc can pick up, then the nicer they can go. They can be, if you want to say. I am tired. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, so we're going to see a fight going underway right now. And again, I mean, this is a nice open position, but the Orc doesn't really want to engage just yet. He was waiting for that Demolisher. Is he going to go now? He could. He might just want to wait for those Militia to wear down into Peasants, though. Or maybe just say, you know what, I'm just going to wait till you come and fight me because there is a big field here, and those towers are pretty far back, and I don't have any need or business to go back there and fight them. Especially because on this map, there's one thing you can consider, that this is the only other gold mine that there's going to be on the map. So once Infi mines out, this is where it's all going to be fighting for. So the Orc does have a little bit of, I would say, positional advantage here, because if the Human player plays the attrition game, he's probably going to lose, unless he just absolutely can do fantastic. I don't know. We have seen the Archmage reskill into Blizzard, which is pretty nice. The Water Elementals aren't nearly as useful at this point in the game anyway, because they can get dispelled, and also the Blizzard AoE damage is really good for hitting those units in the back. You really want that to happen. And let's go ahead and see. These towers have gone up now. We're going to see one of them being taken down. They're being focused by the Demolishers, a good bit of siege units in the back, just going for that. Usually you'll see them go for the casters. In this case, he just kind of wants to break the line here, the wall that Infi has put up, which is not a bad idea either. We're going to see, though, Infi is going to win this fight, and he's going to push the Orc back. However, he hasn't necessarily managed to stop Fly entirely, because as Fly regroups, it kind of puts Infi out of position. Infi does have a nice little wall of Spirit Breakers here, or Spell Breakers here, that all of his casters are hiding behind, which is really nice because you can see that really just eats through the mana on the Blade Master. So he can't get any more Windwalks in, but he still does have a potion of lesser invulnerability as well as a Scroll of Healing. He's going to have to use one of those right now, or something like a Healing Wave. He's going to maybe even have to use another one. He did pop the potion, or the Scroll of Healing, but if he gets bolted right now, he could get in a little bit of trouble. He was playing very risky, popping that potion, lesser invulnerability. pretty late, knowing that could have been a Mountain King's Bolt at any point. And again, we're still going to see Infi winning this fight. And once again, we're going to see Fly kind of backing away and trying to reposition into a nicer position here. He's really starting to get low on units. He needs more mana on that Shadowhunter. He does have a Wand of Mana Stealing, which would be really good right now if he walked up and just did that, particularly if he did it on the Mountain King, you know, save a Bolt for a little bit. But as you can clearly see, he has lost this fight repeatedly, and even when it's not in a position that Infi necessarily wants to fight in, Infi just had the overwhelming numbers. You can see him at 77 supply for Infi and 66 for Fly, and he's forced to kind of get back. He's having to give up even more ground, which means now that this is actually in a bad position, he's going to start putting up towers that can hit the mining peasant line. So if Fly does not engage, he's basically going to be punished by Fly for saying, well, if you wait too long, I'll just take the gold mine and I will kind of keep pushing you back until you're all the way at your main base and maybe even beat you there. But here we can see it looks like even though there was a nice experience advantage on Fly's heroes, he's not really being able to overcome this economy advantage that Infi was able to get from the early game, really just having a really solid early game on this map. And we're going to see this fight, I mean, unit after unit is going down for Fly, and these are big, beefy units. Every single time you lose one, a Raider going down, 2 Spirit Walkers going down. It's not easy to replenish them. We're going to see another Spirit Walker going down. The Blade Master getting healed just in time. He was bolted very low. Another Spirit Walker going down. You can see that the Coda Beast, everything is just starting to die. And that's one of the problems when you play Orc, is that all of your units, their life is very much linked together. You have AoE with the Spirit Link, that kind of AoE tankiness, and also with the Healing Wave, an AoE type of shared life pool almost, because they're all very big, beefy units. So when one starts to go down, and you're in a bad spot where you've been taking lots of damage, you've been losing the fight, then they all start to go down. It's kind of a domino effect. You need those big, healthy units that can be in the front. But he just doesn't really have enough at this point to actually do anything. We're going to see a bolt on the Shadowhunter. The Shadowhunter might go down. He's going to get Spirit Link, but not quite fast enough. And the Shadowhunter does go down, and that's going to be called a GG for Fly, because without the Shadowhunter, you just can't take the fight, especially when you're already losing it. And those towers are up at the expansion, hitting the mining peons. And it was just really all around not good for Fly whatsoever. So that was game number 1 for WEC between Infi and Fly. We're going to take a short little break where I'm going to get some water. And then we'll go into game number 2, and we'll see how that goes. So thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, well, second game should be up anytime now as well. So hope you enjoy that as well. I'll see you next time, which will be in just after this break in like 3 minutes. Yeah. We're going to go to the break screen now.